Yes, it's live. One, two, three. And let me make you co-host already in case of any issue. Okay, so meeting is live stream now. Hi, good day everyone. I hope you all are doing well. And you all know that my name is Inna. I'm a clinical psychologist, psychotherapist, and I'm a therapist, and I'm advocating for mental health, for neurodiversity, and also for trauma victims. And I have my esteemed guest Colette, and we both, and you might know that, I'm sure you know that we are working on our project with the name of Recovering from Childhood Trauma, and we are extensively doing discussions on different topics. But currently, we have a very concerning issue, that is a girl child who died after extensive physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. And her name is Fatima. And we are trying to raise internet. We are trying to do international campaign. And I am requesting a lot of people, my international community, to send me a video to make at least 30-second or maybe 1 minute video, and just say that they are they are supporting that campaign. So I have received many videos, and Colette is making videos as much as she can. I am posting those videos. We have discussions on those videos. So thank you so much, Colette, for coming today. And how are you feeling today? And what you want to say to the viewers who are watching us? Because we will share those discussion that we will do today on different platforms. What you would like to say about that? Because
Okay,
you.
hi everybody. As you all know, I'm Colette Elliott. We have discussions 3 times a week, and Amelia and I do. Normally, it's on Instagram, where people can ask questions, but unfortunately, we couldn't get onto Instagram today. I have lived experience in childhood abuse and trauma. So things like this is very, very, it's very close to my heart. It's something that I get concerned with, and things that I do get upset about. And so yeah, this is where I sort of have a vent on here. So if I start venting, I apologise, but we are both so passionate about what we're trying to do, and what we're trying to do is to help vulnerable children that may be involved in childhood abuse and trauma. There's got to be ways in order to cut this down. And we're hoping that an app that I'm trying to raise funds for will, I've got people ready to go to produce that app, ready and waiting. We're just waiting for funding. Obviously, government won't fund it, so I've had to try and look for funding myself. So if you can add to the pot, I would really, really appreciate it. You can find me on any platform, whether that be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
that's what.
and the thing is that we are telling that to everyone, from my country to your country, from first world country to third world country, that it's not just my problem, it's just not your problem. It's our generation problem. It's the woman problem. It's the men problem, because we cannot specify a man or woman over here, because abuse is also happening with them, and we both are talking about that extensively. As far as child is concerned, the child is not able to talk about, and in many cultures, it's sometimes, because I'm working with different girls, some of them told me that they communicate that, because we both emphasize on the communication part, that a child should have a level of communication with their parents. And sometimes mother is not able to do anything about that, like in this case, the mother was not female. I'm talking about Fatima. That what is happening over there. And it came because of, why it came, that when she received, the point was when the girl died, the mother received was so poor that she was not able to go and take the dead body. And when she saw the body, she make a video of that child, where she was showing the bruises. See, look at what happened my daughter, this is happening, see there's the all there are bruises around that body. And after that, she wasn't even buried, but when people came to that this is happening over there, then they got alert. Then people have to come into in between that, and they have to do something about that. But this is what we are trying to do, that, and we are trying to tell that the power of social media, the power of voice, the power of one hashtag, the power of one sharing. Maybe at this level you cannot do, because we both have also limited resources. What we are trying to do, we are trying to raise our voice, we are trying to speak about those topics. People don't want to talk about those topics, or maybe they cannot, or they don't have that courage to talk about those topics. But we are doing that, and we are not doing that for fame at all.
Not
We
at
don't
all.
need any fame at all. You have your books, I have my profession, and we have established ourselves in those things. You have established yourself as a writer. When you were writing that book, you were not thinking about becoming the New York Times bestseller woman. You did not thought of that, but your words have the power. And you're not someone who is celebrity, you're not someone who is uh, have that much resources to do maybe we both don't have. But what we have our platforms, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a little bit different, but I'm always putting my stuff over there. And please understand that this is the power of social media. And you can do wonders. You can just share what we are talking about. You can just uh, support the hashtag with international even people over here. You can just make a video, 30-second video, and you can say that I am supporting. We both are doing national campaign. We are supporting the campaign of justice for Fatima, and you can post that video, and you are going to save many lives. You're going to give justice to many lives. You're also talking about your daughters. You're talking about yourself. You're talking about your sister. Because do not think that if the doors are closed, you're living in a protected environment. You're living under a roof who have thick walls. You are safe. You're not safe. What do you think about that? Like people think that they are safe under the roof in their own homes. What do you think about that?
Well, that's because people are only concerned about what's going on in their own homes. Um, what's really got me mad about this case is people people are quick to jump and say, well, this isn't happening in your country, so it's nothing to do with us. And what I have to say is, it doesn't matter what country that girl's from. She was a child, first and foremost. She was a child. It doesn't matter where she could be from the moon. It doesn't matter. This child suffered horrendous abuse, and it's people just, they like to talk behind closed doors. They like to twitch curtains. They like to gossip, and not realizing that little bit of gossip that they've got, it could help save a child's life. Um, yeah, you can't gossip about it. You have to do something about it. Child abuse is not something that we should stand idly by and allow it to happen, because it's not happening in our own home. We think that it's okay, but it's not, because even though you're creating a safe environment for your child, just think of the children out there that haven't got that, haven't got the parents to tuck them in bed at night because they're not there. Or just think about that when you're holding your children, just how lucky you are, and how devastating this must be for Fatima's family.
And also remember one thing, that if you speak up right now, you are going to speak for many of thousands of girls. Remember that. And your voice matter. Don't think that voice does not matter. It always matter. It always have echo. It echo around it. The echo will come back to you. No, it's not that it will come back to you. And that is the reason why. People are sharing what we are trying to talk. They are sending us the videos, and also we. It's not our job to make a law. We are not lawyers. Colette is not lawyer. She's a writer, independent writer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a therapist, and I have seen people suffering from even. Remember that whenever we talk about trauma, we have spoken about that so many times. A child or adult can get trauma by witnessing certain things. So at moment, your daughters are afraid because of the things happening around. So again, don't think that they are safe. They are getting that trauma from even witnessing or looking toward the YouTube, maybe looking toward the news that we are talking about uh, on social media, because when something start, it is a kind of flood, and everybody's doing that and everybody's talking about that. Maybe if they're not even talking about, but even then, those news are coming all around, and those girls who, because nowadays everybody have mobile phone and they can have access to anything, and they would ask question from you, what are you going to say, that why you didn't did anything about that, or what you're going to do if some certain thing happened to you. Because I'm working with a girl and she told me that she told her mother that she is being abused by somebody, and her mother said nothing. Maybe she was not in the position to do certain thing because she was a single mother. It could be any circumstances could be there, but one day that girl, when she when she was in her 20s, she asked her mother, why you didn't do anything for me when I told you. The other sister said that it was also happening with me, and I have to hit that person just to get away from that person. And
I
that was
have,
somebody, they were it was somebody that they think that he's a very good man, and the whole family was they have confidence on that person that he's a good person, like everybody's saying about that, but you don't know what is happening inside a person's mind and what he's going to do. So do not trust those people. You need to be very careful that
very
what.
much so, Neela. I mean, I have personal experience with that. When I was little, if I wasn't being left alone, I was being left with unsavory people. Couple of those people sexually abused me. Now, we were living in a masonette at the time, which is like a three-story flat. And we lived in the second block. And whenever the neighbours downstairs used to hear me screaming and crying, because I was being abused, they would come upstairs and they would take me and they'd take me downstairs and put me to bed and I'd feel safer. When I went to the police to report these incidences, I gave them the name and the address of the the neighbours that helped me, and not one of them would come forward and admit to what was actually going on in the flat. And that hurt, that really, really hurt, because it's like I was a child and you think it's okay for him to get away with that, and it was always the excuse of, well, we know him, and well, yeah, you knew me, you've known me since I was so little, and really, as a priority, I should have been priority when I was a child. You should have stood up and said something. They knew that I was involved with social services because I was constantly being taken away from my mum. So why didn't any of these people stand up and say to the social workers, look, we had to get her from her bed because she was screaming, she was being abused. Nobody stood up and said anything. It was all just kept hush hush and say no more sort of thing. I've took her, she's okay, she's safe now. So we don't need to talk about it anymore. And unfortunately, I mean, I have, you know, confronted these people and asked them why did you do that? Why have you lied? And it's always been the same answer, and it's, well, we don't want to get involved, and but you already are involved because you knew what was going on. So, you're just failing to report it. Just because I'm an adult now, I was a child when it happened, and you knew what was going on. Why didn't you do something? Why didn't you stop it? And it was always, well, it was none of our business, and so I do have experience in that, where people will just they'll turn a blind eye to child abuse because sometimes people don't want to believe that it's actually happening. And I don't know whether people are scared of breaking up families, having children taken away. But if the authorities did their job correctly, then maybe more people will approach them and tell them what's going on. Because at the moment, it's a case of they'll tell the authorities, and the authorities are not doing anything. So in the meantime, then whoever's reported this child to social services, a conflict will arise between the person that's made the phone call and the parents of the child, and it's all wrong. That there isn't a system in place that makes it safe enough for people to be able to come forward and say, look, this is what's going on in this house. I know this is going on in this house, because they don't have any support. They don't have the support, and people believe in them, because who would believe that a parent would allow their child to be abused? So there's so many factors that I understand why people don't come forward. I completely understand it, but we've got to get out of that mindset. And if we report something and we're not happy with what's going on, then we need to report it again and keep on reporting it and keep going above and beyond, go above people's heads, speak to management, speak to senior management. If you have to get your voice across, then you do that, because you don't know how that can affect a child's life. You standing in and defending a child, you don't understand how that child will place you in their heart for saving them.
And the thing is that stop thinking about your child is not effective, your voice is not effective, and it does not matter. It always matters. And remember, there's other thing that we need to understand over here is that in situation like that, we have to come together and start working together. This is the main reason why we both are standing on those grounds. We want to work for trauma, we want to work for abuse, we want to work for bullying, we want to work for families, we want to work for
But
domestic abuse.
we
Yeah,
want
that's
to
what
give
yeah.
we want to give children a voice, and some children haven't got that voice. So as adults, we need to take that and do it for them. Every child has a voice, and that voice needs to be heard. And if you don't like what you hear, then I'm sorry, but you've got to. The word of a child. You've got to listen to the voice of a child.
And
I'm a
the
very
thing
big believer in that.
yes, you're right over here. And the thing is that first tell your daughters and your son that it's okay to speak about that, because in first moment we will ask them to stay quiet, and we just the point is, if a child is not comfortable in certain situations, certain places, we just do that. We just take them to those places, and we are not listening to the behavior of the child, we are not listening to the cry of the child, and we are not understanding that why the child is behaving in certain way.
Mm.
Please, as a mother, as a father, as a sister, as a brother, as a teacher, open your eyes. As a doctor, open your eyes. And we both know that we are not from law side, we cannot make a law. We are not from, we cannot punish somebody over something, we cannot put somebody in jail. What we can do is use our social platforms, like you are using your platform, I'm using my platform, to talk about abuse and to tell people that it's not okay to stay quiet, because you are paying a big price by not talking about that. And you need to understand that thing over here, that it's not just about first world country, you not, or just third world country, you are from first world country, and it is happening everywhere. And everybody is somehow affected from abuse, we know that. Everybody have trauma, and you think that your child is not in certain situation and he's not affecting please think about that. Go and listen to our other discussion we did on trauma. We are continuously talking about trauma types, when a child is getting the trauma from witnessing those things, from listening to those news. A child can have PTSD, a child can have any kind of problem, a child can have anxiety and panic attacks just because of not feeling safe, going out and not feeling safe. So please understand that you have to have those discussions with your children. You have to have those discussions with your sister, with your brother, and talk about that and support the cause. And if you cannot do something, at least what you could do is you can just reshare the discussion that we are doing. What do you think about that? Because uh, people think that we have to have a strong background to do certain things. We have to have a lot of resources to do certain things. We both are doing our work in very limited resources. We are giving our time, we are giving our services. And if you have a voice on social media, you have a strong voice, you have a lot of followers on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, we are everywhere. Please share our discussion over there. Please, with the hashtag justice for Fatima. And the reason for doing that, it's not just about one daughter, it's not just about one girl. We are speaking even for boys also, because we keep on talking about that only girls are not getting abused, boys are also getting abused in every possible way. So every child is one, every human is vulnerable even. And you have to give a strong message to the abuser that it's not okay to do this anymore, not at all.
Well, no, it's not. It's not okay. And this is where people need to start coming forward. And yeah, we say this on every time we talk, that people need to start talking about what's going on. And and it sounds like the same thing over and over again, but we can't stress enough how much your voice could impact the life of a child's life. That child could be terrified of telling anybody what's going on, but if you've seen it and you've heard it, then I think it's everybody that does hear things like that everybody's got a duty. And that's how I feel, that everybody should have this duty of, right, there's a child that's being neglected or abused or traumatized, I need to do something. You can do it anonymously, so it's not even like you have to leave your name. Um, it's getting through to the masses, though, isn't it, Anila? It's getting through to people that you have to report abuse, whether you like it or not. If you hear it, you see it, you have to tell somebody. You have to, morally, where are your morals? If you hear something going on with another child and you don't do anything, can you really honestly sleep well in your bed at night, knowing what that child is going through? That's what you've got to stop and think about. Would you want somebody to listen to your child? If your child wanted to express something, express trauma, express abuse, you know, you- these are the things you've got to think about. And especially if you're a parent, put yourself in the shoes of that parent of that child, or put yourself in the shoes of the child, and stop being quiet. Staying quiet causes lives, and it's got to stop. It's really got. There's too many children dying in Ela, and it's not just here. It's not just there. It's globally. It's internationally. It's a pandemic. Whether people like to say it or not, not a lot of people like to talk about subjects that we talk about, but we don't like having to talk about these subjects, but sometimes, we have to instill common sense into some people that think that it's okay to just close themselves off to what's going on in front of them.
And the thing is that, like, uh, people, I remember one thing: when a news is coming on the internet, or if a news is coming on the Facebook or everywhere it is coming, your child will ask question. And I have seen the attitude of changing the channel. Let me give you one example of a client I was working with. There was a child, and the mother told me that the child don't want to go to school, and and he's not talking to anyone, and he was from a very good reputable school, one of the top school in our country. And I'm not going to take the name because of the confidentiality matters, and there are other things also. So I just sometimes mention a few segment, but not mentioning the whole thing over there. And I do that so that people get the idea what kind of things is happening around. So the child was, when I speak to the child told me that uh, he don't want to go to school. I said that why, what happened? He said that I am very scared of going to the washroom, the common washroom in the school. So I said that why? He said that people are not people would write something about me in the washroom. They will address in bad way and bad manner, and I'm scared to that. And he was not able to tell me a lot of things because since he was sitting with his mother, and we were just doing this, we were having those sessions in the start. In the start, of course, child is not comfortable in telling a lot of things, but from that it started that that's the reason that why he's not going to school, because he is scared of adult over there, and he don't want. Because, and there was another thing incident also happened, that he was maybe going to the washroom, and then some adult child gave him push him actually. So he might fall on the ground, and people make fun of him in the washroom. There was a lot of collective things happen over there, so that's why you don't want to go. And I think somebody did a prank with that child also, because the factor of the bullying. If somebody's bullying, uh, and somebody knew that a child is being bullied in the school, everybody's trying to bully that child, because that's how they feel some power and some control, and they feel good because we are maybe a child enough, a boy enough, or girl enough to do those things. That's why they do bullying, because that's all about the power, and they're inside, they're scared also. So
But this is where then schools need to step up as well. Again, which is something else that we've spoken about. We don't expect teachers to become social workers. We don't expect teachers to become nurses or anything like that. What we're asking you is to, if a child, expresses any form of abuse or trauma, that you must report it to the school's CPO office, CPO, who should then make a report to the local authority. Then really then the teacher should make sure that they follow up on that, make sure that the CPO and the LEA have all, everybody's singing off the same page, everybody's aware of this child, and then the teacher can say that's her job done, she's raised it, she's passed it on, and she's happy with what she's done. So, and that's where the app that we're trying to create comes in. Everybody that comes into contact, and I'm not talking about members of the public, so please don't think that if you were to make a call regarding child abuse that you'd be automatically put onto this app, because you won't. This app is strictly for professionals only, and those professionals can range from doctors, midwives, health visitors, nurseries, schools, teachers, social workers, anybody that's involved within a child's life that has come across some form of abuse or trauma and are raising red flags on the child. This would all be part of the app, and it'll be, it'll be who's flagged it up, what's been done about it. Is there any care plans put into provisions? Is there anything put into place in order to make sure that this child's safety is first and foremost? So, there are ways to do it. It's unfortunate that members of the public have to come out with ways of having to tackle child abuse. Our government should be, it should be on top of our government's list, but it never is. I always tweet my government, always, but nobody ever responds. But every day I will keep on tweeting them
And
until
the thing is
somebody
that
does.
I'm also doing the same thing. Whenever I'm posting something, if you go, you could see the list of the people that I'm tagging. You could see
Yeah,
that. And I'm not just tagging the people, I'm also tagging the organization, I'm also tagging the government bodies who have account. And
that's it.
they're not even liking what I'm doing. It's not, I mean, maybe I don't even need their like, but at least you can reshare what I'm trying. And
Acknowledge
I'm
that
not
you've
going to make
seen it.
any, don't want to become a celebrity in that matter. There are a lot of people who are doing a lot of good work about that matter, but at least at that moment we have to come together. And it's not about ego, it's not about you personality and I'm not a personality, I'm a common person, you're not a common person, you have a big space
That's
over.
that's the
Just
problem,
come
isn't it,
together.
Anila?
Yeah, come
That's the
together for that
problem.
cause.
That's the problem. We're not famous, and maybe if we was famous and we were celebrities, then you could use that factor and push forward on what we're trying to do, and maybe get listened to and replied. Whenever they tweet somebody, there's the difference. You can tell that we're not celebrities, because if celebrities were doing it, then there'd be a lot of likes, there'll be a lot of retweeting,
Yeah,
there'll be a lot of people talking about it. It'll appear in the news, it'll appear in papers, it would be all over social media. But because we are Joe Blogs, because we are really nothing in this massive world, nobody wants to listen to us, nobody wants to help us. It's you get a lot of celebrities that will come out and say that they were abused or traumatized when they were children, but that's it. That there's no fight from them. There's no fight for the justice
yeah.
of every child that's been abused. They just come out, use it as part of their celebrity status, and that's
And
it. They
the
don't.
thing is that they are appreciating that they're talking about that. But the people that who are actually working for that and who are not just representing themselves, but who is representing other people also. Like
Mm,
over here, I'm not doing anything for my because we are not getting anything out of that. We are not
yeah.
getting any kind of revenue of that. We have very small accounts, and it doesn't matter that we have small account. We are not scared of being having a small account, and it's not that our voice does not matter. If it didn't matter, we haven't been reached to people sending me the videos, because before talking to you I got another video, and somebody was, and that was from Somaliland, and Somaliland is far away from my country. I'm from Pakistan, and that is coming from Africa. So this, it means that the cause that we are working is a genuine cause. And and the other thing is that I have been tagging those people. I try to talk to somebody who is working for that, and that person turned me down so many times. And it was not about that case, it was generally about talking about the abuse. But right now, even that
Neela,
much life that I did,
broke up.
that
Neela, you're
person,
frozen. I can't hear you. I can't see
they're
you.
going to,
Neela,
can you hear me right now?
Neela,
Yes, yes, can you hear me?
I can
I
hear
think
you
I'm
now.
back.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying that that person might just put that thing for maybe 1 or 2 minutes might take, and we are putting hours and hours into those discussion. And it is a sad reality of the society that they are not listening to what we are trying to say here. And for them, if somebody is coming forward and talking about their own experiences, those people are valid people because they have some kind of following, and those things were affecting maybe first the world of the showbiz. Now it is affecting everywhere. So people think that if you have following, you have worth to say something. And it's not like that. That is the wrong perception. Every mother, if she's talking about her child, is worthy. Please listen to that mother. Please listen to that child. And that is again a form of same thing that we're trying to do with other people. What they do. If child is saying something, they're not listening to that child. Because since that is a child and child could lie also, this is what they think. It's not like that. So whenever your child is trying to say something to you, please listen to your child. Please listen to the mother and help that mother. This is what we are trying to do over here is we are speaking up for a child who is far, far away, not just from me, but from me. But I can feel the pain because I have seen those people. And if I talk to you about the work that I'm doing right now, if currently I might have 10 or 15 patients right now, at least 10 of them have been abused as a child. And I am talking about mixed strata. It's not that they just belong to lower community, they belong to every community. And this is the reason that why we talk about, it's not about poor people, it's not about poverty that those things happen. It is happening in elite class also, it is happening in first world country also, it is happening in quiet neighborhood also, it is happening in my neighborhood also, it is happening everywhere. It is happening in school, it is happening in malls, it is happening in universities, it is happening in workplaces, it is happening inside the house also. So by closing your eyes, by thinking positive, these things are not going to eliminate. You cannot turn off your eyes from the reality of the life. You cannot turn your eyes from the people who are worse than animal. I mean, animal might have some law, and they have laws, and they follow those rules to do certain things. But I think human beings have crossed that limit, and they are beyond that. I mean, a lion can leave a prey because of certain reason, but a man is not doing that. So please talk about those things. Share what we are talking about right over here right now. Share the videos and support the hashtag Justice for Fatima. And I'm again saying thank you, Colette, that you come and you beyond you having poor health, because I know you personally. I know that how bad your health is, and even then you're giving me time and you're putting your energy. And I have seen the energy is spike now. It's like you are on fire and you want to do something about that, and we both want to do something about that. That's the reason that we're talking about. And I think in this time period, even with a lot of technology, people still people can use their social medias. If you think that what I can do about this right now, please use your social media. Share those videos that we are working with, that we are talking about right now, and uh, support the hashtag Justice for Fatima. Please do that. It's not about your child, it's about every child. And once somebody get the message that if something happened, they can do something about that. Please do that. So this is what I'm
Neela,
trying
you're
to
breaking up.
say.
Neela.
We went on that. You cannot see me. Can you see me right now?
Can't see you, but I can hear you.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am just saying that we have crossed our time limits and we have to go. And I think you also have to go take some rest because it's been when even then you came here. I would like to say thank you to you for coming, and
And nearly you're breaking up again.
I'm saying that can you please give a message at the end, because it's time we both have to go and do some other thing also. But it doesn't mean that we will stop talking about that problem, that is that issues that we have in our lives and the issue that is going right now. Uh, what do you want to say at the end? How you're going to conclude that discussion that we do or we are having over here?
I just want to conclude it because you concluded it very well, Anila. Please, please, please have a look on either my website or on my social platforms or Anila's social platforms to help fund an app that will help protect vulnerable children from childhood abuse and trauma. We're not just doing shows, we're not just talking, we're trying to put words into action here, and we're trying to start protecting our children because our governments are failing so badly to do that. So yes, thank you for joining us today. Please don't forget to do your hashtag justice for Fatima, because as Anelia said, this isn't just about Fatima, this is about all the sisters, all these young children that have gone missing, who have died from systematic abuse. It's time that we opened our eyes. It's time that we gave a voice to these children, and it's time to take a stand against these horrible, horrible people that can inflict such torture on children.
So with this, I would like to say thank you to you and to people who will listen, who are listening to us and who will listen to us later on. Uh, you can support our uh, cause international campaign by sending us a small video of 30 seconds maybe, and just saying that you support justice for Fatima, the hashtag justice for Fatima. And also you can go to GoFundMe page and help us developing that app. And I'm sure that with this app we can also take benefit all over the world. With this, thank you so much everybody, and we will keep on talking about that until we see that something uh, is happening about that. It is happening, but it could take time, and we are happy to give that time. It's not because just about one person, and the whole generations and the generation that will come after us is going to take benefit from that. Thank you so much everybody, thank you so much Colette, and see you in the next discussion, and have a happy weekend, and please take care. Bye.
Bye, everybody.